Here's Prescott. Just throws it deep as far as his arm can take him. He caught it! Micah Parsons on the move. Micah Parsons is in! Welcome to the big show, Tony Pollard. Oh, going deep. It is intercepted.
But I'm not going to say a word, but I will say one thing right now.
Prescott, touchdown. Good protection, and the pass wide open. Touchdown, Lamb.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. It's Space Cowboy here with another video for you guys here today. And we have to talk about Brandin Cooks. Why? Because Brandin Cooks is setting up some nice expectations for himself, but also what he's doing for the young guys in that receiver room to make sure that we don't have a repeat of what happened last season. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. Now, before we get started, if you guys can hit the like button to show support for the channel and fight against the YouTube algorithm, that'd be greatly appreciated. Next, if you haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. So look, we've talked about how Brandin Cooks, what he's done in this league, and really what he can bring to the Cowboys. And we'll touch up on a couple of those things in today's video as well. But we're hearing about how he is really helping these young guys that last year had struggles. Talking about guys like Jalen Tolbert, Samuel Fehoko, Dennis Houston, plenty of others. And if I'm being completely truthful with you guys, I think that they needed a veteran guy in the room. I think Amari Cooper, when he was here, he was kind of like that voice for CD in a sense. But these guys haven't had a real veteran that's been in the league 10 plus years. I understand that some of these other dudes are, been in the league for quite some time. But we're talking about a dude that is Mr. Consistent at the wide receiver position, consistently getting 1,000-yard seasons and doing it in any given situation. And he's been playing with plenty of other quarterbacks where he knows the type of offenses he's dealt with, how to adapt, and really how to produce in these offenses. And that's really where last year you had CeeDee Lamb. Michael Gallup was coming off of injury, but you were kind of hoping that Tolbert and a lot of these young guys could step up. And they couldn't, because you had a situation where you had an offense that didn't really cater to those guys. Their brains were fried. Not saying that they're dumb or anything, but it's a lot to learn. Now, with an offense that's simpler, easier to understand, and more predicated for these young guys to develop in, you might have a situation where this wide receiver core doesn't need a whole lot more. So we know with CeeDee Lamb, Gallup, he's in that state of flux. And then you have Brandin Cooks now. And now it's about the guys behind him, right? Because what I think really helped the Dallas Cowboys offense in 2021 versus 2022 is that you had guys that were 4, 5, 6, those type of wide receivers, and they were contributing. And what I think really hurt the Cowboys in the postseason and why they didn't go farther is you didn't have, number one, adequate pass catchers that were ready to help out. And I think that your offensive, system wasn't really catering to these young guys. And as much as people want to call it one thing or another, your quarterback is in a situation where you get tunnel vision, because the only person I can really trust is my number one guy and a little bit of my number two and my tight end. But that's where I think Brandin Cooks coming in here is going to help solve all that, or at least attempt to. Brandin Cooks is a guy that has seen it all, like I mentioned. He's been in many situations. He's played in 2 Super Bowls. He played with the Patriots, the Rams. He's been in every given, circumstance, the losing team, winning team. And I think that that's important because now you have a guy that's an adult in the room that can tell you guys, hey, listen, this is what you need to do. This is how you got to be successful. Because Jalen Tolbert has the tools. Simi Fehoko, he definitely has the tools. A lot of these guys have the skill set. They just need to put it together. And I think that you need that adult voice to help them out. And that's where I think the Cowboys will see improvement, especially for Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, I know I'm not trying to make it a Dak video, but this is key. A lot of the reasons why we had turnovers in situations like that was because your receivers could not catch the ball. They ran the wrong route. And also, like, your offense wasn't as efficient because you didn't have a pass catcher that you can rely on that your quarterback can trust. And that is bad all around. Your quarterback shouldn't be developing that tunnel vision, and hopefully that changes this year, but you can understand why when you look at the film. So what I think is going to happen this next go-around is you're going to see a lot of quick passes. You're going to see a lot of guys getting into the flow of the game a lot easier. And we've seen that when the Cowboys utilize that particular set of attacking a defense, it's helped them. Like, there have been glimpses of it, but we haven't seen it utilized fully. And I don't mean to go on and on and on about this, but this is huge. Because if these young guys can take that next step, which we need them to, it's the long-term implications as well. If Lamb continues to do his thing, he gets paid. If Gallup continues to do his thing, he's already been paid. Cooks is here for at least 2 more seasons. In that span of time, what we need to see, all I'm asking, is that we need Jalen Tolbert and Simi Fehoko or someone else to step up and be those reliable options outside of those 3. That's why you had a Dak Prescott in 2021 that broke the franchise record for touchdown passes and why your offense was so electric and did all these things. Granted, we all know how that shit went, but you need that. It was evidently clear that you were asking, well, first off, you were asking wide receiver 4s and 5s to be your 2s and 3s, and then your number 2 wide receiver was hurt and acting like a 4, and it's just, you really were one CeeDee Lamb injury away from your whole season being over. We saw what would happen early on. Because if you remember, we didn't have Amari Cooper. We lost CeeDee Lamb for a concussion back in the Chiefs game. And then the Raiders game, you nearly won it, but your offense kind of like had to figure what the hell out. So, Cedric Wilson, a guy like him was important, right? Having a guy in a Dalton Schultz was important. Having a guy like Michael Gallup be at the form he was at is important. Because if you don't have that, your offense is stuck in the mud. So I'm really excited to what I hope this offense can do. But I'm really excited to see what Brandin Cooks has done. And I'm really hoping that these young guys continue to mature. Because we saw in the last preseason, listen, I'm telling you right now, Jalen Tolbert showed glimpses. He had a couple things he had to work on, but that's okay. Young guys, I think a lot of us put a lot of pressure on Jalen Tolbert, and I thought, hey, maybe this dude can be something. But some people don't go at that pace, and, whether you want to excuse that or not, that's whatever. But I'm just telling you right now, that's just what it is. So I think that pretty much covers everything, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, guys? Have a good one. Goodbye.